Hey all, please excuse the audio overlay. After a year of making videos, I'm probably overdue for a major technical snafu. It's just really unfortunate that it happened on a video I've had my eye on making for a long time, and I can't just easily reshoot it. My first test ride of the new 2022 Indian Chief. Unfortunately, I was so excited to get on the bike and get underway at Demo Day at Twig Indian in Hagerstown, Maryland, that I forgot to turn my GoPro on for the first half of my first ride on the bike. It wouldn't be a big deal since I rode the bike 3 times, but all 3 bikes are a bit different, and the last 2 rides kind of assumed you watched my first ride and build from there. I tried to cobble them together with the video from the last 2 rides and the audio from the first one to try and preserve my thoughts but give you something to watch, and it just didn't work out very well. So what I've decided to do instead is just boil down the audio as much as possible, throw up a few pictures of the bike, and work with that. I'll put some timestamps up on the screen so you can fast forward to the portion with video if you want. Sorry for the snafu, but I'd certainly still appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, click that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Doing those things helps more people find their way to my videos, which means more comments, discussion, and fun interactions for all of us, which is all my channel's about. Now on with the show. We're at Indian Demo Day at Twig Cycles in Hagerstown. The way things are working, we are going to start with the Indian Super Chief. It's got the Thunderstroke 116. I'm going to put the stats of the bike up on the screen. So this has Thunderstroke 116, 120 foot-pounds of torque, 6-speed transmission. Got it in tour mode. We'll switch over to standard in the ride. Oh, it feels so different than the Challenger. Feels different than the Chieftain did even. This is so nice and little. I'm flat-footing the bike without a second thought. Feels great. Seat so far is comfortable. We'll see how it is after this ride. I don't even know what this ride will be like, to be honest. But anyways, I'm really looking forward to this. It really, to me, this feels very much like a Scout. I'm not going to pretend. I know it's a little bigger, a little heavier, but not so you'd ever think twice about it, in my opinion. 4-gallon gas tank. You feel the rumble of the Thunderstroke. One thing to keep in mind with the new Chief, the 2022 Chief models, all the Thunderstrokes are detuned a little bit from what you may be familiar with in the Chieftain and the Springfield and the Vintage for European emissions. So they're saying this is 120 foot-pounds. This is the 116 engine. The 111 is like 108. The 111 on my Chieftain was 119 foot-pounds. You know what's really kind of interesting, just pulling out of the parking lot, is my feet feel very high up, my knees. I'm leaning forward a bit. Sounds good. Throttle feels a little wonky. On my Chieftain, I really liked it in touring mode best. It felt really good. It had great, low down torque, plenty of power higher up in the rev range, and it was just less twitchy than sport mode. Pulling out of the parking lot, this felt different. Felt a little wallowy in the throttle. Again, I'm in touring mode now. There's that beautiful Ride Command dash. Did such a good job with that. Again, sitting here, not feeling a ton of heat coming off the engine, but we'll see. So anyways, what I was saying is my knees feel like they're really high up. I feel like I'm leaning forward pretty good with these bars. It's a little more of an aggressive seating position than I was expecting. Throttle is a little weird. It feels a little loosey-goosey. Shifting, the transmission was a little stiff. I mean, it works fine. Clicks into place, easily. Takes a little bit of effort. Seat's very cushy.
compared to like a Scout. All right, I think we're gonna have to switch out of touring mode because it just doesn't feel good. Let's put it in standard. Okay, that already sounds better. Oh yeah, I already like it better in standard mode. It's got some pop. Sounds good, feels good. I do feel like I'm sitting on top of the bike for whatever reason. I was expecting a more, you know, I sat on that one at Motorcycles of Dulles. I didn't get that feel from it. I didn't get the feel like I was sitting on top of the bike. I do on this very much. It's a little weird, a little surprising. No, it's a demo day. We're not gonna have a chance to lean these bikes over like all those guys who went out to Arizona, and girls. It sounds good. This would be a fun bike for bopping around town for sure. I can already tell you, if you were taking a long tour, this would not be my preference over my Challenger or a Chieftain. Although, let me take that back. The seat on this is more comfortable than the Chieftain seat, as is every seat I've sat on. Yeah, but so far my takeaway is it feels great, it sounds great. I feel like I am riding a Thunderstroke in a much smaller frame than the Chieftain. But I feel like I'm very much sitting on top of the motorcycle, and that's odd to me. For a bike like this, it's like the floorboards are just too high. Maybe the pegs will feel differently, but I feel like I should be lower down, closer in, hunkered down on the motorcycle, and I'm not. And it's surprising. You know, on the Scout, you don't feel like that. Leans over nice and easy. No issues there. And again, this is just the base 116. There's no upgrades to it. Really hard for me to get a full sense of the power compared to my old Chieftain 111. It feels good. It feels great. No issues there. I cannot say that in the test ride so far, I'm feeling like I'm getting so much more than a Scout. You know, Scout's got more horsepower than this for sure. A lot less torque, but it feels like it's pretty similar. This sounds much throatier, much more rumbly. You hear the torque, you feel the torque, but you feel plenty of torque on the Scout. It just sounds a little different. You know, the base model Chief is 14,500, I think, and the base Scout, like if you got just the Scout with ABS, it's 13 grand. 12 grand still? I don't know the pricing. You know, if a motorcycle is a luxury and you've got a budget, every penny counts. I know the brakes on this bike are just regular old brakes. I think it's a single rotor up front. I can't remember. I can't see it. Oh, this bike sounds good. It sounds good. Oof. Well, so anyways, yeah, I feel like I'm sitting up very much upright on this bike, you know, on top of the bike. I'm not crazy about that. I'm really surprised by it. I can't help that. That's the most noticeable thing for me about this ride so far. Oh, it's got plenty of get up and go. Feels great. I feel plenty of vibration in the handlebars, in the butt of my seat, the feet on the floorboards. Windshield's nice. It provides really good protection. I have absolutely no buffeting whatsoever at 57 miles an hour in 4th gear. It's, I'm getting good wind on my chest, like the kind that keeps you refreshed on a hot day. No buffeting to speak of. Well, we're back on video. I don't know what happened there. I must have screwed up something in my settings. Figures. But we had a nice little whip around a couple sweepers at high speed. Bike feels great. Forgot to put it in sport mode. Plenty of get up and go. Now it's in sport. Oh yeah, sport mode is what I recall. Throttle is super, super twitchy and responsive. The slightest move, you're going to feel it. And I prefer it. I think all my miles on the Challenger in sport mode have given me a finer appreciation for it compared to my Chieftain. Really nice. I did not like touring mode on this bike. Fifth gear feels fine. Feels like fifth gear. Sixth gear, I mean, going a little slow for sixth gear. I hope you guys are getting a good angle of the bike. I mean, the dash is great. You can absolutely see it without a problem. There's nothing, no issues with the sunlight. Granted, it's a little overcast today, but you know, no issues with glare and reflection. It's got like a matte finish to it. That's really nice. Brakes feel fine. You know, I haven't heard anyone complain about the brakes, even though, you know, they start talking about the specs and they seem a little disappointed. But they feel solid. Transmission feels great. Clutch is nice and easy. It's very smooth, very light pull, which is always appreciated. I do not, off the top of my head, know if this is a slipper clutch or something more traditional. But I don't find, you know, like some of the issues I had when I first got the Challenger, you know, I guess there's a little bit of free play in the clutch. I have no issues with it, none whatsoever. It works just fine. Again, the transmission, everything clicks right into place. The engine feels fantastic. I did not check to see if rear cylinder deactivation is active on the bike. Again, lovely ride. Really nice machine. Indian has done a fantastic job with this. I am just surprised that I feel like I'm sitting on top, which isn't what you'd want. At least I certainly wouldn't. I think it's just the way the seat is. Doesn't have a special seat. It's not like a short person seat or anything like that. Bike, you know, feels very light to me. You know, it's not a big touring bike, so obviously I'm going to have that sense of it. Sport mode, first gear. That was the first time I've really had it in first gear. It was a little much. A little grippy there. Oh, that sounds amazing. Sport mode at low speed is tough. It is really grippy, twitchy. Put it in standard mode. Standard mode is much more refined. Kickstand, it's almost a reach for me. Power off. Well, guys, that is the 2022 Indian Super Chief with the Thunderstroke 116. Beautiful bike, felt great. All right, we are on another Chief. This is the basic Chief Bobber with the Thunderstroke 111. So it's tuned down a little bit from the Thunderstroke I had on my Chieftain for European emission standards. So it's got 108 foot-pounds of torque, 6-speed, bobber style, keyless ignition, cruise control, Pirelli Night Dragon tires, full LED lighting. This has the standard display. It doesn't have the Ride Command digital display. It is sharp though, I'll tell you. I got it in my color. I'm really interested to see how this feels compared to the 111 on my Chieftain. Based on riding that Super Chief with the 116, I think it'll compare favorably. It'll feel nice in a smaller frame. And as I mentioned on the Super Chief, one most noticeable thing for me about riding the Chief so far is you feel like you're on top of the bike, not in it. It's a little surprising to me. All right, guys, let's start this bad boy up and see how she does. So, we are on mini ape hangers. Not my preferred setup. Don't get me wrong, like, it feels a little odd to me sitting on the Chief, but it's still a really nice motorcycle. It does feel bigger than the Scout in terms of its general dimensions and heft, but not much. I mean, it's very comparable. So this Chief Bobber does not have floorboards, it just has pegs. So my reach on the pegs is fine, no issues. And we are off on the Indian Chief Bobber, baby, with mini apes. Too bad. Got it in standard mode. Yeah, you got some road feel in these handlebars. I don't know if that has to do with the apes or what. It's just the bike. Plenty of vibration. The last Chief that I rode, the Super Chief. Just not my preferred riding position, leaning forward like this, as y'all know. So what else can I tell you about it? The seat, you know, while I feel like I'm sitting on top of the bike, the seat is very comfortable. Really comfortable. Squishy. I mean, it's like kind of shaped like the original Scout seat, just much cushier. A little more lateral support, I believe. It's a nice step up. You know, it's like I said the last time I did a demo day, I rode the Chieftain 116, and I really didn't feel a big difference. And so far, base Indian Chief Bobber with the Thunderstroke 111 versus the Super Chief with the 116, they feel kind of the same to me. Now, different riding conditions, different throttle techniques. Maybe that changes, but on these demo days, it can be hard to get a real good sense of a bike when you're really trying to compare a couple like this. Bike looks badass, that's for sure. Feels great, very stable, no problem moving the bike around. No lugging at lower RPMs. I'm just in third gear, no big deal. Let's put it in sport mode. go. It's got a lot more pop in sport mode. I wouldn't want to do low speed maneuvering with it though. Might make it a little tough. Again, a lot of vibration in this bike. Nothing that, you know, you don't not buy this bike because you feel vibration. It feels fine. It's just, you know, some motorcycles have more than others. Hands aren't going numb, nothing like that. You just feel that you're on a motorcycle. I like that feeling. Well, the bike didn't catch air there, but my butt did. Not my best work there. Didn't drag anything there. Kind of hard. Yeah, these mini apes are killing my shoulders, my back. Just not my thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a great bike, guys. I don't know what to tell you about the Chief. I kind of was thinking I'd get on it and just absolutely love it. But, I mean, I wouldn't see myself trading in a Challenger for this. I wouldn't pick this as like a second bike. It's just, you know, it's not giving me, for, you know, given that I already have a big touring bike, it's not giving me enough of something different, special. But it is a wonderful motorcycle. Make no mistake about it. Okay, right there on that acceleration, I felt like I was holding on to the grips to keep from sliding off the back of the bike. That was some nice torque. That's a better pull than I got on the 116. Well done, Indian. That's what you want. If you got a lot of torque, you want to feel it pulling you off the bike. I think they need a backrest for this bad boy. Yeah, I definitely prefer the Chief with pegs over the floorboards. They're just up too high on the Super Chief. This feels much more comfortable this way. Knees are a bit lower down, kind of perpendicular with the tank, not pointing above it. These bikes sound great. Really love the exhaust on these bikes. You know, I'm sure there's slip-ons and aftermarket stuff will be coming. Sound even better. Riding next to DC Cycler earlier, I couldn't even hear my bike. Might have to think about that. Back in standard mode for the parking lot. Sport mode's definitely twitchy on this bike. Oh, that Chieftain sounds amazing. I really have not gotten as much opportunity to lean this bike as, say, you know, my Indian Scout ride where I kept dragging my heel on the ground, but not the pegs. And, you know, just riding around, it was fine. Lean angle wasn't an issue. All right, guys. We are finishing up at demo day here at Twig Indian in Hagerstown, and we're going to make our last ride. Another ride on the 2022 Indian Chief, because this one has the Stage 2 kit. Everyone says it's a nice ride. Chief Bobber Dark Horse, 120 foot-pounds of torque, 6-speed transmission. This has the 116 Thunderstroke, blacked out Bobber style. It doesn't actually say anything about Stage 2 here, but you can see the slip-ons. I think these are slip-ons, and the air cleaner, air filter, whatever the hell it is. It's huge, freaking monstrous. Look at this thing, man. Thing is ginormous. Nice. Stage 2 Chief. Sounds like a beast. Sounds like a beast. How's foot placement with the... Ooh, you hit your leg's gonna hit the air cleaner. I think that's called the air cleaner. Guys, I'm clueless and I'm so exhausted. I am probably sweated out 20 pounds today, man. Alright, we're in standard mode. Not gonna go nuts with sport mode yet. I wanna just feel it. Well, it pulls and just pulls. My head was like, Okay, so what can I tell you about the Chief that I haven't already told you on my last 2 Chief videos? Nothing. Beautiful bike. I'm getting more used to the seating position where, you know, I feel like I'm sitting on top of the bike, which I still do, but no big deal. I really would like to ride this bike with some traditional cruiser handlebars. Like, everything's kind of pointed up, ape hangers, whatever. That's not how I would ever buy a bike, so... Beast mode. Feels great. It feels, you feel the power of the Thunderstroke. It's ready to go. Rear cylinder is on. Really nice motorcycle. Yeah, this has got a lot of power, man. A lot of bite. This Stage 2 is no joke. I wonder what the Stage 3 111 would be like. So the Stage 3 111 is upgrading it to an upgraded 116. And apparently it's more powerful than this. This is as far as you can take the factory 116, as I understand it. that's so nice. That's badass. Sport mode. I want it in sport mode for the up and down hills and all that. But even in standard, this felt different, for sure. That sport mode is definitely jerky. You can feel it kind of lurching a bit, but it is immediate as well. I still didn't drag anything. Yeah, sport mode takes a lot out of you, man, and all the jerking because it's just not super smooth. If you are not rolling on the throttle, then sport mode is pretty uncomfortable. But it's got all the power in the world. I mean, you can hear it, you feel it. Outstanding. Just outstanding. And like most of the other rides, I'm just not having enough of a chance to get the speed up to really try out the cornering the way I would like. Put it back in standard mode. I actually want to put it back in touring mode because I was so disappointed with touring mode. Maybe I just need to try it again. It was just really not where the action was at. I mean, it's touring mode feels like rain mode, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't want to do that. This bike's got some get up. It's got some bite to it. Still lurching. Else to tell you about it. It's fast as dog balls, you know. It's great. It feels great. It sounds great. Whether this is the bike for you, it really just depends on the kind of riding you're going to be doing and how you feel on the bike. Like this whole, I feel like I'm sitting on top of it. You might feel differently. Might not be something that bothers you. For me, though, yeah, I just want to feel like I'm piloting my starship. My X-Wing. It is a beautiful bike. Regardless of, if you get one, regardless of what you ultimately determine about it, you're going to look like a badass. That's guaranteed. So there's that. Yeah, I scraped. That turn is a little harsh for these bikes, the Scout and the Chief. It's fast. Even standard mode on this one, you feel it pulling a bit. Got a lot of power. I don't know what the horsepower and torque numbers are on this bike with the Stage 2, but It's got it for sure. Give my Challenger a run for the money, that's for sure. Power from the throttle is just a little herky-jerky. I don't know if that's like the tune on this upgraded bike or what. Definitely feel it and notice it. Well, guys, that will do it for the Indian Chief today. That was the 2022 Indian Chief Bobber Dark Horse with the Stage 2 upgrade. Definitely a ton of torque, ton of power on this bike. Give my Challenger a run for the money any day. That Thunderstroke 116 is just a fantastic engine. I gotta be honest with you guys, I don't care what you're riding. Thunderstroke 111, Thunderstroke 116, they're phenomenal. They are just as pleasing to me as the Power Plus. That's a compliment to both engines. They're just fantastic. And the Scout engine is awesome too. Absolutely love it.